What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Roman's Creative Academy. As always, I'm Jay.
And I'm Mike.
And today we are going to be talking about staying organized in your business, but this is going to be the tech stack edition. Excuse me. So last week we were actually absent. We have a lot of stuff going on. If you've been following our journey on Instagram, I'm Roman with Jay, and obviously Mike is Roman with Mike. We are currently renovating our primary that we bought with creative financing, right? We also have our coaching business, and we also have our lead capitalization business, which is acquisitions. So we have a lot of stuff going on, which is how we came upon this topic to talk to you guys about, right? How do we do this all, right? We're not, just because it's two people, we only have four hands. How do we keep everything nice and organized, and our team, because we do have a team, accountable, right? Ourselves and our team accountable. We're going to dive right into that. So Mike, tell me, what are our 7 go-to systems that we cannot live without, coming from an unorganized person, because he's not organized at all?
Absolutely. I rely on technology and Jay to help get me through the day and the week. But in terms of the technology that we rely on, really there are 7 main ones that we use on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. So in terms of our document hub, we use Google Drive as our workspace.
Yep.
Right? And then for that, in terms of lead generation, how do we keep everything organized with all the sellers that we talk to? Because we're talking to 50 plus inbound sellers per week, right? How do we keep track of that? We use a CRM called REI software. And if you guys are interested, in the description below, we'll put a link where if you guys wanted to, we can copy and paste out our CRM with all our follow-up sequences for you if you use that link below. Our scheduling hub, right? So what do we use to schedule all of our conversations with sellers, things with our students, all that stuff, right? We use Calendly and Google Drive. So Google Drive is what holds ourselves accountable, right? Because if it's not on Google Calendar, it's not getting done. And then how do we schedule things to make it streamlined across the board for not only us, but for our VAs to help schedule things on our calendar? We use an app called Calendly. And that's honestly been a lifesaver for us. We've been using it for the past couple of years now.
So before you keep going, so he just mentioned 3, right? So I'm honestly going to read them off a list that we created. It is our
use a lot.
Our document hub is Google Drive or Google Workspace. That holds all of our documents from our rentals to whatever we're wholesaling, whatever we're flipping. All of the documentation is in there, and we have a specific way that we organize everything, right? But that is our main hub. Our lead generation, so when someone reaches out to us saying, hey, I want to sell my house, are you interested? We use a CRM, which is Client Relation Management System. We use REI software. And just like Mike said, if you're interested in that, it's relatively inexpensive. And we've talked about this before. The link's going to be in the description, and then Calendly for all things scheduling, because if it's not on the calendar, it's not happening.
Yep. Now, what do we use for project management? What does project management mean? Right? Ongoing things that we're working on in our business that we want to communicate across the team. Ongoing tasks that we need to set for ourselves, right? Whether it's personal or business related. We use an app, it's called Upbase, right?
This is completely different than a CRM. I want to make that clear because a lot of people get those two mixed up, where a CRM is client relations. This is project management.
This is for in-house. This is for your internal use with your team. So it's a tool to be able to talk to your team about the ongoing tasks at hand. And obviously, it's also a place that we use to house many different things. From if we have to ship something with UPS, the link to the UPS is right there with the login, our team password sheet, how to get into all the different softwares that we use. It's a centralized hub for our internal team's use.
Mm-hmm. Along with like email templates and stuff like that. So that's all that is. To give you some examples of other ones that people use, Notion is one of them. Monday is another one of them. These are all project management. They are not a CRM. I just have to reiterate that because I've seen that being used a lot.
Absolutely. And then for our rentals, we use an app. We've been using this since our first rental we bought in 2020. It's called inago.com. Over time, they've evolved, and they've actually, the software and the platform's actually gotten to be really user-friendly. We've never changed from it. A lot of people use apps called Appfolio or Buildium, but we use a rent collection portal for our tenants called inago.com. And then in terms of onboarding, I'm going to pass the mic over to Jay on this one because she completely helped build this out. But we use a platform called Talent LMS to be able to onboard our VAs and or virtual assistants, right? And make sure that when they come on board, they're streamlined and they're ready to go.
So Talent LMS doesn't only onboard them. This is also where we house our courses for training, right? So when you have someone new come in, that takes a lot of time to train someone. So if we can just have the basics on as a part of your onboarding based on that role that you are going to be taking, that's what we do, and that's what we use with Talent LMS. We'll be diving in next week as to why we love Talent LMS, how we use it, what features are really the ones that stand out to us as to why we use it or why we picked it compared to other ones. But we just wanted to throw that one in there because, you know, hiring isn't easy, and we do rely on this very heavily. If we have situations like this where we have a lot going on and we personally can't get to the onboarding ourselves, this basically aids you in that, right? And then lastly is, like I said, holding your team accountable. We have to have constant communication with them. It's just the name of the game, especially when we want something done. So we heavily rely on Google Chat and Zoom. Zoom we use on a daily for our daily meetings. And that's the next thing that we're going to get into is what are some things that we do on a daily basis as a team to keep ourselves accountable, to make sure things are still burning and churning.
Yep. And the biggest thing that's changed us from being not as productive as we'd like to very productive are our daily procedures that we follow. So in terms of our daily procedures, we start every single day off with a team meeting with me, Jay, and our virtual assistants.
And we actually use I don't want to call it like a KPI tracker, but a tracker where their concerns are on there, and any training that we want to cover, we also cover as well in that daily meeting.
So any leads that came in, because our VAs, they help us a lot with our real estate business, right? So we have multiple businesses, but they help us majority of the time with our real estate business. And they, in this sheet that we use, that we created, basically it shows for today or for the prior day, were there any leads that were question of concern or that they had the VAs actually had questions about? Were there any hot or warm leads that need to get attended to ASAP, right, and that need to get booked? And obviously anything else that may be ongoing, maybe a current seller that we're working with under contract reached out with something, right? They help bring these things to our attention so we don't constantly have to be looking at our phone monitoring these things, right? So by doing this every single day, we have been able to achieve a very high efficiency, basically rate within our company and between ourselves. And by doing this every single day, it's helped us to not miss any leads, to not miss any questions or concerns, and it's really helped improve our team culture. And we're very much on the same page now, moving day by day.
So many people hire their VAs and barely talk to them, only when they need something, right? What do you think that's going to make them feel like, right? They're still people. And then on top of that, if we have so much going on and a seller reaches out to us, we want to give them that, we're here to help you vibe, not, hey, you're just another number vibe.
Yep.
right?
Exactly.
So that this process that we've come to make and to keep ourselves accountable on a daily basis has really allowed us to achieve that and be efficient.
Yep.
So
And then, go ahead. Sorry.
we wanted to throw a little bonus at you, which we already talked about, which was the talent LMS, and kind of talking through that. That next week we'll be talking about how we onboard, and our VAs are not in the United States. All of our VAs, all of our team members are virtual. So that is going to be a treat for you guys on how we onboard virtually, why we love using Talent LMS, how we use it, and some feedback that we've received actually from our team members, right? As to what they think about it and what their experience has been with it compared to other places that they've worked at.
Absolutely. And when we go through it next week, it's going to be really cool to show you guys exactly how we get them through our training period, what that training period looks like, and how when they go what we call live on the floor, how they're ready to go, and they really rarely have any questions, right? And then how as a team we work together to make sure that everybody's consistently progressing and getting really good at their position.
Yeah. So if there's anything that you guys have to take from this video is take a look at those resources that we've been using. They're fairly inexpensive and some are obviously free, like Google Drive, that could really make a difference in your business, especially if you have multiple businesses or that is your goal, what this tech stack can do for you. Mike, do you have any last words?
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of last words, guys, there's many softwares that we use that we talked about today. In the comment or in the description below, you'll have a link for our REI software, which is our CRM, which helps us manage our leads. We'll also put a link in there for a free trial for our PropStream account, which we use on a daily basis. Doesn't really keep us organized, but it helps us verify lead information and work with sellers and all that stuff, right? And then if there's anything else that you guys would like us to talk about in our future videos, drop them in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on the video, and we will see you next week.
See you guys.